would like to know how mature of a BI solution you have in your organization. Here at Vertex, we have a business intelligence maturity model that actually categorizes your organization into one of those buckets. We have identified 5 different buckets at Vertex which we use, and we use certain parameters to identify how we determine your organization or where it would fit in that particular model. One of the main first parameter that we use is to find out who takes ownership of the data. Second one, what's the actual primary focus of that particular organization. 3, what kind of tools that they use to kind of deliver that BI. 4, what kind of processes that are defined and how well they are defined in the organization. And 5, the business value that you can derive from that particular BI system. So the first manual process that we have talks about, the word itself speaks for it, it's going to be all manual, where when it comes to ownership, there's no IT or business, no one takes ownership of the data. Second, when it comes to the focus of the organization is purely to just generate reports out of certain metrics. Then they use spreadsheets to be able to deliver certain metrics and the key performance indicators. And they have 4 no processes defined. It's highly manual. There's no documentation or no tracking of the business processes, and this results in a value which is going to be highly inconsistent and not accurate. So this is a kind of the lowest level in the maturity model. And then you have companies that are the next level higher in the maturity model, which are tactical. With tactical, I mean is they are more related to operational data. They are more focused on their operational systems. So here, when it comes to data ownership, you would always notice that there's no business sponsor for that particular tactical department, and there's IT is always going to be in charge of it. And when it comes to the focus, the primary focus of the organization is always going to be on operational data. And then they use kind of reports to be able to schedule and build them and send it to the certain business owners as and when required. And their processes are always going to be defined at a very operational level, and they don't have anything at an enterprise level yet. And thus the value that they derive from this model is only limited to those analysts who work on day-to-day operational data. The next level of maturity I've seen with organizations is that of being focused. With focused, I mean being more departmentalized. So here, when it comes to those parameters, we have ownership of the data, where business takes finally the ownership of the data. Then when we come about the focus of this particular organization is always based on specific business needs. And the kind of tools that they use for achieving those BI needs is through reports, dashboards, and finally using an enterprise BI platform. And then the processes that are existing in these organizations are well defined, but they are more confined to departmentalized solutions, and they integrate well to get to the actual enterprise vision. And the actual benefit is reaped only by certain departments and certain users, which is why this is a more focused kind of maturity model. The next level of maturity model we have is what we call the strategic maturity model. This is basically finally looking at data from an enterprise level. So here, data is treated as an enterprise asset, and then the focus of the organization is purely driven by the key business drivers and the business objectives that are defined by the business. And you finally are landing up using tools like traditional BI, enterprise BI tools like OBIE, Microsoft BI platform, to be able to monitor all the business performance. You have scorecards. And then the processes that are used here are very mature and well defined at an enterprise level. And the actual benefits that this particular model gives is where the senior management, the C-level execs, and even the analysts all are able to derive benefits from these models by being able to slice and dice the information and being able to dive deeper into their data. So this actually model provides a very high visibility into the enterprise data. So the final level of maturity that we have is what we call pervasive. Pervasive is nothing but your strategic model on steroids. So in pervasive model, you still have your data that's treated as enterprise asset, and then you have the primary focus of this particular organization is not on historical data or current data, but it's on future events. They want to be able to predict their future events. And how do they do that? They use all highly sophisticated tools like data mining tools, and they use predictive analytics, predictive modeling to be able to derive that. And then when it comes to their processes, they have best-in-class processes defined at an enterprise level, and the ultimate value that they gain from this particular maturity is the organizations that are able to focus more on their future events by being able to be ahead of their competitors and be able to stay proactive rather than being always reactive. That's the 5 different levels of maturity that we use at Vertex to classify how mature of a BI system you have.